भावनं ब्रह्मणस्थानं धारणं सद्विशेषणं सर्वसत्त्वगुणोद्भेदः पृथ्वीवृत्तिलक्षणं भावनं ब्रह्मणस्थानं धारणं सद्विशेषणं सर्वसत्त्वगुणोद्भेदः पृथ्वीवृत्तिलक्षणं भावनं ब्रह्मणं स्थानं धारणं सद्विशेषणं सर्वसत्त्वगुणोद्भेदः पृथ्वीवृत्तिलक्षणं. Word by word meaning. Bhavanam, modeling forms. Brahmanaha, of the Supreme Brahman. Sthanam, constructing places of residence. Dharanam, containing substances. Sadvisheshanam, distinguishing the open space. Sarva, all. Sattva, of existence. Guna, qualities. Udbedaha, the place of manifestation. Prithvi, of earth. Prithvi, of the functions. Lakshanam, the characteristics. Translation and purport given by His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The characteristics of the functionality of earth can be perceived by modeling forms of the Supreme Brahman. By constructing places of residence, by preparing ponds to contain water, etc. In other words, the earth is the place of sustenance for all elements. Purport. Different elements such as sound, sky, air, fire, water, and can be perceived in the earth. Another feature of the earth, especially mentioned here, is that earth can manifest different forms of Supreme Personality of Godhead. By the statement of Kapilas, it is confirmed that Supreme Personality of Godhead, Brahman, has innumerable forms, which are described in the scriptures. By manipulation of earth and its products, such as stone, wood, and jewels, these forms of Supreme Lord can be present before our eyes. When a form of Lord Krishna or Lord Vishnu manifested by presentation of a statue made of earth, it is not ordinary. The earth gives shape to the Lord's forms as described in the scriptures. In the Brahma Samhita, there is a description of Lord Krishna's lands, the variegatedness of spiritual abode, and the forms of a Lord playing a flute with a spiritual body. And these forms are described in the scriptures, and when they are thus presented, they become worshipable. They are not imaginary as Mayavada philosophy says. Sometimes the word bhavana is misinterpreted as imagination. But bhavana does not mean imagination. It means giving actual shape to the description of Vedic literature. Earth is the ultimate transformation of all living entities and their respective modes of material nature. Okay. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरन्मृतं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Usually, every religion glorifies the Supreme Lord. Lord is great. Lord is so wonderful. If you ask anyone why Lord is so great, many of the people doesn't have answer, or many of the scriptures doesn't have the answer. But whereas Srimad Bhagavatam is explaining everything, everything. Here in Kapila Deva is explaining how this whole manifestation is happened. How Lord is great. He created everything. Sky, ether, air, fire, water, earth, and now so many varieties from there. So, as an ordinary human being, we cannot do all these things. We cannot create one earth particle, or we cannot create one drop of water, or we cannot create a gallon of air. It's impossible. So, if God is great, how He is great? It is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. From the beginning, Lord emanates Mahatattva. From the Mahatattva,
she's backing him.
Amurtanand Prabhu, can you please go on it? From the Mahatattva, all the fine grain elements are coming. First, ether came, very, very fine grain. And after that, air came. And after that, fire came. And after that, water came. And after that, earth came. So if you see the fineness, the solidity, if by the time earth is a solid substance. Here, Prabhupada is explaining that sky, air, fire, water can be perceived in the earth. Another beauty is you can perceive ether in the air, and you can perceive ether and air in the fire, and you can perceive ether, air, fire in the water, and you can perceive ether, air, fire, and water in the earth. Earth is the sustenance of all elements. Now, Lord came into the creation of the solid, the sustenance of earth. How this earth can be useful for us? What is the purpose of this earth? Srila Prabhupada firstly explained, by the earth we can carve many things. We can make deities, we can make stone deities. From the earth, all the stones, jewels, all these things are the part of the earth. If you make with this earth all these murtis of the Lord, we can understand. That is the meaning of here. Bhavanam Brahmanastanam. How can we understand Supreme Lord? How He looks like, how He is, what qualities He has, how can I see Him? How can we see that? Bhavanam. By making the earth, with the different forms of the Supreme Lord. Suppose if I want to know who is Krishna, how he is Krishna, how he looks like, how can I explain? I cannot explain. But if I make a deity out of the earth or out of the stone, as per the description of Vedic scriptures, then I can easily understand. Oh, Krishna means he has two hands and he has a flute and he is playing and his face is so beautiful, his body is transcendental. Then our understanding and our faith will become more and more stronger, and we can perceive the Lord very easily in a worshipable form. And sometimes there will be some contradictions from Mayavada philosophy. Sometimes they will feel like this bhavana means imagination. No, bhavana is not imagination. It's a creation, how the Supreme Lord looks like. This Mayavada philosophy, sometimes they condemn the material nature, Jagan Mithya. This material nature is Mithya. Mithya means false. Here, Krishna is telling that the earth is my energy. Even in the Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna explained that Bhumi nanolopayo buddhir mana ahankarha. So he's telling that all these five elements, earth, fire, ether, water, and another three elements, mind, intelligence, and false ego, are my energies. So if Krishna himself is telling that this Bhumi, this earth is my energy, how can we say that that is false? No, that is not false. It may be temporary, but it's not false. So we should not misguided by this Mayavada theory. We should have a solid understand that all these material elements are created by the Supreme Lord. In the nature, it may be temporary, but those are all created by the Supreme Lord. The last part is very important. Earth is the ultimate transformation of all living entities and their respective modes of material nature. It's very important. Earth is the ultimate transformation of all living entities. Why? Why Earth is the ultimate transformation of all living entities? This Earth is Karma Kshetra. After the living entity come here with the association of various modes, Karanam Gunasangasya Sat Asat Yonishi Janmashu. By the association of Karanam Gunasangasya, by the association of different modes, the living entity will transform into different bodies. We all know these three modes of material nature: mode of passion, ignorance, and goodness is the cause of the next life. Whatever the mode you associated, you will get a similar body in the next life. Suppose if you take association of in this earth, if you take association of mode of goodness person, you will take next life as mode of goodness person. If you take mode of passion, you will become a crazy person. If you are ignorant, you will become more crazy person. So it causes a different bodies. It's very important. First, we need to understand why I am taking birth, or why different people are suffering in different degrees. People think like that they are not suffering. Actually, this material world is place of suffering. Dukkhalayam ashashvatam. As per the scriptures, this earthly planet, or this material world, is described as dukkhalayam. Maybe sometimes you will be relieved from those dukkhas, those miseries, then you will feel happiness. But actually, there is no happiness here, full of dukkhalayam. So, how can we come out of these three modes of material nature? What is the way to come out of this material nature? Srila Prabhupada is explaining in this Karanam Guna Sangasya sloka purport. We will take different bodies as per the association. Just like you may all have a question why it will happen like that. Prabhupada explained very wonderful analogy. At the time of death, whatever the consciousness or whatever the thinking that you have, you will get similar body in the next life. Just like air passes through a rose garden, the air smells like a rose smell. And if air passes through a filthy place, that air smells very bad. Similarly, if you take a good consciousness, your thoughts, your consciousness, everything will be good. Whereas if you take a bad association, your thoughts, your consciousness, everything will be bad. So, how can we come out of these three modes? Srila Prabhupada is wonderfully explained. The attachment to this material desire is so strong. How much strong means? It's impossible to overcome on our own. Daivihesha gunamai mamamaya duratyaya. Krishna is telling that this material nature is also my energy, but crossing it over is very difficult. It's very difficult. We're all seeing one after other, one after another, one after another. We will get disturbed. How can we do that? Srila Prabhupada explains that by constant hearing, by constant listening about the creation, about the Supreme Lord, about the glories of the Lord, Harikatha, automatically the attachment towards this material nature will be cut down. That is a key ingredient. So many people will come and ask, Prabhuji, I'm not able to control my mind, or Prabhuji, I'm addicted to so many bad habits, or Prabhuji, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, but still I'm not able to make progress in Krishna consciousness. The key ingredient to progress is hearing. With the method of hearing, we can easily transform these three modes. How can we transform? Transformation of three modes is nothing but accepting Krishna consciousness. In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it says that Anyabhilashita sunyam jnana karmatya anavratam anukullina krishnanusila bhaktir uchyate. Just Anyabhilashita sunyam. Abhilashita. Abhilashita means having desire. If you have a desire of this material nature, of this material world, this, that, then our consciousness will be polluted as per our desires. But if you make it as sunya, sunya means if you make it as zero, automatically uh, our thoughts, our actions, our activities, everything will be Krishna consciousness. So automatically we can easily transform these modes, and from this earthly planet we can go back to Godhead. And sometimes the devatas, the demigods, are envious about this earthly planet people. Why? Because in earthly planet the life is short, 100 years, but we are not living 100 years also. In the heavenly planets or in devata planets, if you are fall down with any of these material modes, again to recover is very lengthy process. But whereas this earthly planet, it is very short, and also on top of that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came. So we are in the age of golden age. Whoever practice little bit Krishna consciousness, chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, eating prasadam, simple things. Whoever is adopting these activities in their life, they can easily surpass these three modes of material nature. So, even in Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura, in his commentary, also he wrote, it causes manifestation with distinctions in all living beings in their qualities, such as maleness, etc. So, the earth will causes various distinctions. How? By their qualities, by their association. If you see this, you can easily understand the importance of association through Bharat Maharaj's pastime. Bharat Maharaj has a greatest desire, he want to go back to Godhead. But he gave up his whole kingdom, his wife, his sons, everything. And he came to forest. After he came to forest, instead of focusing on the Supreme Lord, Vasudeva, he attracted to a small baby deer. He forgot the purpose that he came to the forest. And then slowly, he is so much attached. One day, the deer will be lost. And with that consciousness of the deer, because he loved his body, he left his body in the consciousness of the deer, he took the birth of deer birth. But fortunately, since he did a little bit of devotion and little bit of endeavor to reach the Supreme Lord, he was able to remember his past life. And then, in the form of deer, he went to the hermitages of the sages, and he was trying to take association of the pure devotees. And by taking the association of the pure devotees, he transformed from that dear life. At the time of death of the dear life, he remembered these sages and this pure association. Then he took a Brahmana life. Even though he took a Brahmana life, even though he's very intelligent, he knows everything, but he don't want to disturb his consciousness. He became like a Jada Bharat, very dull personality. And he completely focused whole lifetime on the Supreme Lord, and he went back to Godhead. So here, consciousness, the association is important here. The importance of key ingredient here is association, association of the pure devotees. Only a pure devotee, only a devotee wants is only the association of the devotees. If Lord himself appear in front of you, like Prachetas, the only desire one should have is, I don't want to forget your lotus feet, and I don't want to leave the association of the pure devotees. The remaining things all are temporary. It may be there, it may not be there, and those are all not the key ingredients to go back to Godhead. Those may be utilized as a supporting attributes to go back to Godhead, or to transcend in these three modes of material nature. The key ingredient is hearing and associating with the pure devotees. So we should hanker for the pure devotee association. If you find any acharyas or any sannyasis or any great personalities visiting our centers, we should keep away everything and we should try to take association. That is very, very important. Without association, we will not get taste of the spiritual world or spiritual nature, and we will stuck with here this material nature. We will be so much attached. We cannot cut down this attachment on our own, but by hearing, by the knowledge of the scriptures, by the knowledge of the great acharyas, we can cut this attachment with the sword of the knowledge. So, 3 points, 3 takeaway points from today's class is, the Lord's next form or next manifestation is the earth. Earth is the substance of all previous elements, and by the help of the earth, we can manufacture or we can carve the deities, and we can worship them, and we can perceive the Supreme Lord very easily. And the third point, and most important point, this earth is a place of transformation of all living entities. So by the various association, the living entity will take different types of birth in 8.4 millions of species. But whereas if the living entity is take Krishna consciousness, he can surpass all these 8.4 millions of lives, and he can easily go back to Godhead. The key ingredient to go back to Godhead is hearing from the pure devotee. Without hearing, our minds cannot develop the taste of the Supreme Lord. Yeah, thank you very much for giving the opportunity. Over to Madhupati Prabhu.
Thank you, Gupta. We'd like to wish everybody a safe and Krishna conscious day ahead, and we'd like to offer our prayers to the Supreme Lord by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Nrsinga, Jai Nrsinga, Jai Nrsinga, Praladesha, Jaya Padam, Kapadma Bringam, Ugraveedam Mahavishnu, Jagantam Sarvatomkam, Narsingam, Vishwanam Bhadram, Mityam, Namiham. नरसिंह भगवान की जय, प्रहलाद महाराज की जय.
जय.
Let's offer our humble obeisances to all the small Vaishnavas. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu bhayavacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Hari.
Hari 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 Bol. Thank you everybody. Hari Bol.